Okay, so you want to grab all the pieces for Santa's coat, the edges that'll go around the sleeves, the bottom, and the neck cuff, the coat itself. And the first thing we're going to work on are the sleeves. So let's go ahead and grab the first sleeve. You're going to face the wrong sides out. So put the right sides together, which means that that braid, that outer braid, is going to be facing towards the inside. And with the wrong sides facing out, you're going to be whip stitching from the largest opening of the sleeve to the smallest opening, which is where it's going to attach to the coat. So just go ahead and whip stitch along that edge until you get to the small side. And then we'll be flipping the piece right side out. Okay, so here we are flipping the piece right side out. You'll see that seam is there, and that is going to go at the bottom, facing the bottom part of the coat. Okay, so go ahead and you're going to tie off the other strand, and you can just weave it through some of the inner stitches of the sleeve and then just clip it away. You don't need that one anymore. And then you want to take that strand that you used to whip stitch the sleeve edges together. You're going to want to go ahead and use that strand to connect the sleeve to the coat. So go ahead and grab your coat, tucking the sleeve inside one of the holes with the seam at the bottom, and then use that strand on the inside of the coat to whip stitch all the way around. You're going to whip stitch starting at the bottom, whip stitch through the coat, up through the sleeve, through the coat, up through the sleeve, and continue on all the way around. You're going to do the very same thing for both sides of the coat. So when you're finished with that, you can tie the yarn away. You can tie it off with a knot and cut the rest of the yarn away. You can tie off one of the other strands as well, and then just leave one more strand left that we're going to go ahead and use to take some tucking stitches on that sleeve so that the sleeves are facing forward just slightly, because Santa's holding a wreath in one hand and a staff in the other. So you want to make sure that the arms aren't facing straight out, but are kind of facing a little bit more forward. All right, so you're coming up from the back of the coat to the front. Now go ahead and come up through the bottom part of the sleeve and then back down into the coat and just do some weaving stitches between the two so that the sleeve is fastened at an angle just a little bit towards the front. And again, make sure you're only going through the bottom part of the sleeve because you don't want to make it so that you can't stick the arm through the whole of the sleeve. Okay, so we've finished the sleeves. Here we are at the edging of the sleeves. You want the braid to be at the very All right, so once you're finished with the sleeves, we're going to grab the bottom edge. You want to go ahead and do the braid side down. So you'll need to take your thread and work it back up to the top part where the initial chain was, and that's where you're going to attach it to the bottom of the coat. And just doing the exact same thing, we're doing a running stitch. So going down into the red, on the wrong side of the red, going forward just a little bit, coming back up through the white, hopping across a stitch, going back down into the red, hopping across the back side of the red and up through the white, and just continuing on doing that sort of a weave in and out, and leaving a little space in between so that you can attach this edging more quickly and more seamlessly. And it's going to be enough stitches to where it's not going anywhere, and it's really not as noticeable as any other stitch that you might try. Okay, I will meet you back at the end of that. We're going to do the neck cuff afterwards. All right, so we finished that edge. We're going to grab the neck cuff. The neck cuff is worked the same way. You want the braid side facing down. The only trick here is that you want it to come down along the front side of the coat, and you want it to be even on both sides. Okay, so you're coming down about 8 rows down from the very top, and that's where you're starting it. And you want it to be even on both sides. So it's 8 rows is basically 4 of those lines is what the 8 rows will be. You want to go ahead and do the same running stitch all the way around, making sure that the 2 front edges align. I'll meet you back at the end, and we'll go ahead and fasten off and put Santa's coat on. Okay, so I've tied a couple knots here. I'm going to clip away the thread, and I'm going to grab Santa and put on his coat. All right, so Santa is clothed now. He has his coat on. What he needs next is his belt. So go ahead and grab the belt and the gold belt buckle, and we're going to go ahead and do those next. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thanks, guys.